See, what had happened was, look, who don't like cake? I had put a couple in the and ain't nobody was home, and I was hungry, so I went to the supermarket. I intended to get like vegetables. That's a lie. Definitely ate some broccoli. Be responsible. I was walking around the vegetable section. One of the dudes from the bakery came up to me. Now, I don't know if he knew that I was on one or just assumed that I was fat and would always take a discount on cake, but that's what he came off. He was like, yo, in the bakery, certain cakes, 50% off. You want to come take a look? I was like, yep, yeah, I do. Followed him to the bakery section, and there was a cake, child's sheep birthday cake. Yes, 50% off. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, they misspelled Brittany. It was too many T's. So I was like, shit, I'll take that cake. Who don't like cake? I'm high. So I take the cake, no basket, just a sheet cake with Brittany on top. I go to the checkout, and I'm waiting in line to check out. Started to get a little paranoid because I'm like, how am I explain? I'm just buying a cake in the middle of the afternoon with someone's name already on it. I get to the cashier, the front, and the cashier was like, hey, just to let you know, I don't know if you know that the Brittany is spelled wrong. And I could have just been like, oh, it's half off. That's why we're doing this. But that's not what I did, though. My ADHD, anxiety, and a little bit of that green all combined to make me say, oh, that's just how she spell it. Why would I say that, though? Cashier looked at me like, what? I thought I was home free until somebody else in line was like, that's not, my daughter's name is Brittany. She don't spell it like that. Now the panic is starting to bubble up like a dry heave, and the lies is getting worse. And now I'm talking about, oh, she from like Finland. They spell it crazy different over there. Same damn lady gonna be like, where in Finland? Lady, if you don't shut your... Damn it. I just said Helsinki because that's the only city I know in Finland. Matter of fact, if somebody told me that Helsinki wasn't in Finland, I would probably believe them and be like, yeah, you probably right. Anyway, I was just like, yeah, that's crazy. And then just left with the cake. Went home and disrespect. I ain't even cut the cake, y'all. I just stabbed it in the middle with a fork. Ate it from the middle to the side. You understand me? Washed it down with a Diet Coke because, you know, too much sugar. Look, the point I'm trying to make is that don't just eat sheet cakes. You are going to cry in the shower, and the sugar dukes are just not worth it, to be quite honest. I mean, like, eat 1 or 2 or 6 pieces, but just not the whole cake in like one sitting. And fuck you to that dude who know I'm a fat, high, cake-loving motherfucker. You ain't shit, sir.
I once shot a bird with a Roman candle. Now, in my defense, I was aiming at the tree.
I realized that that's equally as stupid, but I was like 10 years old. I was 23.
About 5 shots in, I realized I should probably not be aiming fire at a tree.
So I decided to see how close I could get to the tree without actually hitting.
I saw something that I thought was just a branch. It was a bird nest.
So I'm just firing them off.
Poor bird just wakes up in Baghdad.
I heard a chirp,
and then some fire fell out the tree, and then the bird was dead.
The only person who saw that was drunk, so I don't know if anybody knows. So I was like 21. I was waiting at my house to get picked up to go to a party. Chick Tiffany was picking me up. I knew her, but we weren't like close. We were just sometimes at the same party. She seemed cool, but she was a little bit... Like if I would have found out she wore a Confederate flag underwear, it wouldn't surprise me. So she picks me up for this party, and we're going to pick up one of her friends. She knows I'm a black albino. It's all good. We've talked before. We get to her friend's house. He gets in the car. I don't know him. Let's call him Andrew. So Tiffany tells Andrew that I'm black, like off bat, like he ain't even put his seatbelt on. Oh, okay. That doesn't, I don't know if that's the most important thing, but whatever, you know what I mean? I'm a black albino. It's interesting. So he's like leaned forward, he's got both of his arms on the seats. He's talking to me. He's fascinated. We're having a discussion, start to pull off, head down the road. And in the middle of the road, there's an SUV parked next to like another car parked. It's like 5 black dudes outside the cars talking. Tiffany stops like 50 feet from him. And before anybody can say or think anything, she just says, fucking niggers. Realizes her mistake immediately. Oh, Nathan, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Are you? Because it seems like you're just sorry that I was here for that. No, I'm not racist. Well, I think you would beg to differ. Meanwhile, Andrew in the back is trying to become part of the fabric of the back seat. He tried to disappear into the cushions. Tiffany starts crying. I'm like, bitch, why are you crying? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's just go to the damn party. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just get out the car? No, man, I want to go to this party. Drive to the party in complete silence. When we get there, she's like, so are you going to tell people what I said? In my head, I'm like, of course I'm going to fucking tell people what you said. But y'all know me, I'm petty. So I was like, I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe she should go talk to one of my friends who really likes her. And she did. And that friend of mine gave her the clap. Don't play with me. Racism get your pussy fucked up. I'm not religious or nothing, but I grew up kind of, going to church. Here's another question that I asked and that got me kicked out of Sunday school. Remember, this was not, I wasn't trying to be combative. I was a stupid child that asked a lot of questions. I'm sorry. They was talking about heaven, and I was like, well, so all my friends is going to be in heaven when I go there. My dogs and my cats and stuff. And they was like, yeah. I was like, good. So my friends who aren't Christian, they're going to be there too. And they was like, nah, it don't really work like that. And I was like, well, then how's that heaven? And the teacher was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if all my people that I love on earth ain't gonna be in heaven, then how's it heaven? Like, how's it the dopest place that could ever be if I can't be with some of the people that is the dopest people? I think I stumped her a little bit, and then before she could answer, I got scared, and I was like, do the angels brainwash people to make them forget certain people that are on earth that can't get into heaven, that maybe go to hell? She was like, immediately, nah, ain't nobody gonna brainwash you when you go to heaven. But then I was like, I don't want to be somewhere forever. What if my mom's isn't religious, or she does like one of the sins and she go to hell? Then I have to think about my mama being in hell the whole time I'm in heaven. I don't want to do that. And then I started crying. And then it was recess, so I went and played on the slide.
I remember my friend Bobby lit both his hands on fire trying to take a shot of 151 at the club one night. We was at this hood club. Bobby, a white boy from Georgia, looked like Leonardo DiCaprio, but he gutter as fuck. First thing we always ordered anywhere we went is 2 double shots of 151 lit on fire each. Which is crazy because I hated being drunk. Still do, but I wanted friends, y'all. But we was already drunk when we hit the club, so when we got the shots, Bobby forgot to blow his out first and just grabbed it. Well, it spilled on his hand, and his hand lit on fire, as it do. And instead of putting it out immediately, he kind of looked at it for a second. That's crazy. Then he figured out what was happening and tried to put it out by shaking his hand, which just flung fire all over the club. I'm watching fire sprinkle all over people who I know got guns. Finally puts his hand out, takes the shot, goes to grab the other one, same shit. Lights it on fire, tries to shake it out, raining down hellfire. But we about to get all the way shot. But most people were just impressed at his dedication. Bartender was like, that's awesome. You're cut off.
One time I got robbed twice in the same day. Let's talk about it. So the first time I was going to work, and I was across the street at the bank from the bus stop getting some cash out the ATM. I turned around to see that the bus is coming, but I got bad vision, so I couldn't see the number on the bus. I didn't know which bus it was. So I throw my cash and my wallet just in my backpack loose and book it across the street for the light change. Come to find, it's not my bus, but my bus is actually right behind it. So I'm like, okay, cool, I didn't miss it. My shoes are untied because I'm an adult. I'm out of breath because I'm fat. So I put my bag on the bench because I'm, tie my shoe. When you fat, tying your shoes can be an ordeal. You need full concentration. I go down to time and I hear something, look up, and there's a dude running. I see him kind of disappear around the corner as the bus pulls up. I'm like, what the fuck is he running for? I look in my backpack, the wallet's still there, but all the cash is gone. He had just reached in, grabbed my cash, and then skedaddled his ass away. The bus is here and I had to get to work, so I'm like, fuck. I needed that money, y'all. So I'm on the bus. I'm pissed because that was like all my goddamn money. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm mad. Call my girlfriend at the time. She like, that's crazy. So I get to work. I got to go through my whole shift explaining to everybody that I ain't got money for lunch. Luckily, 2 customers who like me, they gave me a couple bucks cash. And I was like, man, thank you. I was really appreciative of that. Shift ends at midnight. Takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get home by the bus if I catch the right one. Time I get home, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm hungry. So I stopped off at this overnight place and got me some donut holes, like the cream filled ones. Every time I get those donuts, it makes me think of road trip. Anyway, I'm walking down my street. It's like 6 blocks from my house. I got my headphones on. I got my girlfriend's Discman. I'm old, y'all. And I don't know if it's because I grew up where I grew up at, but I'm always very aware of how fast people are walking behind me. And I can tell that this motherfucker behind me walking too goddamn fast, right? So I zipped up the backpack. You know what I'm talking about? Like zipped up the straps, like zzz. About to hit these burners, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't just fast for a fat motherfucker, I was fast. As I'm about to bust out running, I see another dude coming out from a street in front of me, like cutting me off. And I'm blind, so I don't know if he's got a gun. I ain't trying to run at nobody with a gun, because I know what I look like, and I know that if I saw me running at me at night, I would just shoot. So I'm like, fuck, and I just like turned around. And I guess I startled the dude who was going to rob me because he pulled out like, what you doing? I'm like, nigga, I'm taking my money out. Ain't that what you was about to get? Motherfucker act like he forgot he was robbing me. He like, oh yeah, give me that shit. His friend come up and they started patting me down. They were really bad at robbing. I had my hands in the air the entire time. They never told me to put them down. Neither of their guns were cocked, and I'm pretty sure one of them had the safety on. They were also holding it like right in my face, like, dude, I could just take that from you right now. They're like, empty your pockets, dog. I want your nail clippers. I want your pocket lint. In my head, I'm thinking these motherfuckers do not have high robbery standards. Like, nail clippers and lint, bruh? How low are you on the robbery totem pole that you robbing people for nail clippers, dog? They're not even $1 at the dollar store. And people are like, oh, man, you know martial arts, man. Why didn't you fight him, man? All my friends like, man, you should have whipped their ass, man. Take their guns and shot them motherfucker. I was like, dude, I already been robbed today. I ain't had shit. They ended up taking my girl's Discman, my phone, which was just a clock, but the service them being cut off. The only reason I was worried was because I was working at Hollywood Video and I had just rented two video games. If you lose those are $60 a pop. And one of the dudes is feeling my backpack and he was like, what's in your bag? And I was like, my donuts and my work clothes, dog. And I'm like, man, if they take these fucking video games, I'm fucked. I don't have the money to cover this shit. So I was just like, man, you're gonna have to bluff, bro. So one of them's like, man, you sure what else is in the bag? I was like, motherfucker, let me just take it off then. And they was like, nah, man, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. I was still mad because the way they were feeling my backpack, they crushed my goddamn donuts and squeezed all the juices out of it and shit. That's fucked up. At one point, one of the dudes actually has his hands full, so he takes his gun and actually puts it down on a nearby car so he can actually hold more stuff in his hands. Y'all not good at this. I know some people are like, man, I beat their ass, man. I ain't letting them have none of my shit. I'm not dying for $2 and some donut holes, fam. I'm worth more than that, goddammit. At least like regular donuts, at least. Also, what if I had to kill one of them motherfuckers? I don't want to kill no goddamn body. My anxiety is already high a fucking nut. I don't need to be thinking that these motherfuckers gonna come with the comeback like I'm not fucking albino and easy to spot. Some people are like, oh man, it's about the principle, dog. You think my mama give a fuck I went out like a soldier? Besides, as bad as motherfuckers were at this shit, I was like, oh, these niggas gonna get caught for sure. Finally, they was like, all right, man, gone. Got home, a couple minutes later, told my girl I got robbed. She ain't even get out of bed. They caught the dudes like a couple days later. They found some of my stuff. They wanted me to do a lineup, like they show you some pictures and be like, is any one of these dudes here? And I think that they thought that I was trying to not be a snitch, but I was just like, bruh, I'm legally blind, bruh. I wasn't really looking at their face. I was looking at the gun pointed at my dome. But it sounded like the cops didn't really need like my testimony because apparently there was enough other people that were like, yeah, that's the motherfuckers right there. Ridiculous. Even the cops was like, how the fuck you get robbed twice in the same damn day? I don't know. I wasn't planning on the shit. Anyway, all I know is that them donut holes filled with gooch juice are the reason that I didn't have to pay $120 back in stolen video games, so that's why I still eat them.